Hey there folks, how are you? What are we doing today? Today we're going back to some farming. That's right, a lot of you have been asking me for farming videos. You say, Nemo, where are all the farming videos that you've been doing? Well, today I'm going to come back to some farming. Today we're going to take a look at some really awesome ways that you can farm at Town Hall 10 for gold, dark elixir, and even regular elixir. These strategies are really OP. I'm going to show you two of them, two ground strategies that I use. Both of them actually involve miners. These are really awesome strategies. I've done a lot of farming in my life. I have over 14 different accounts, so I know what I'm talking about when it comes to farming. And today I'm going to show you some of my favorite ways to do it. We're going to break them down. We're going to make live hits right here in the video, and all of that's getting started right now. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Captain Nemo. Welcome to another video. Today, we're going to do some farming, like I told you before. I'm going to show you some really OP strategies. I'm going to make live hits right here in the video to show you how you can do it. These are really easy, very good deployment, lots of loot. So today, I'm going to show you that. Before we get started, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. There's a lot of stuff going on you don't want to miss out. Also, make sure to follow me on my Twitter and come on down to our Discord. There's a lot of exciting stuff there as well. You definitely want to make sure you're part of that. So let me make myself a little smaller and let's get started with the first attack. So what do we have going on here? What's our first attack? Like I told you, both of these are going to be involving miners. Both of these have almost no dark elixir whatsoever, besides maybe poison spell and a couple of minions, but realistically I use absolutely no dark elixir because I know that you need to farm for dark elixir at Town Hall 10, 11, really any Town Hall. So these are really effective ways that you can triple. You don't even have to triple. These are effective ways that you can really pull all of the resources from the base that you come across. So what do we got going on here? We got 6 giants, we got 2 P.E.K.K.A.s, 5 wizards, 2 baby dragons, and 20 miners. Of course, we have a jump, a rage, 2 heals, and then a wall wrecker with Valkyries. To be honest with you, I never use a wall wreckers or any kind of CC troops for my farming. I feel like it's a waste almost most of the time, so I don't use it. But you can, of course, if you want to. It doesn't really matter what you use. A wall wrecker is going to be helpful. So is a siege barracks because it comes with a whole bunch of 75 extra troop spaces, like a P.E.K.K.A. and a bunch of wizards. That's also good as well. I probably would use a siege barracks if I were you. But let's get started. I'm going to show you how to do this. Now, remember, I'm actually doing this with the keyboard and mouse. No, I'm not playing on an emulator on a PC. This is actually a Google Pixel tablet that's right in front of me, and I have a keyboard and mouse attachment to it. Why do I use a keyboard and mouse? Why am I having a mouse here? Because it shows you where I am deploying troops. A lot of people really like seeing that. They like to see where I'm deploying some of the troops. So that's kind of why I do it. Of course, it's a lot harder to do it this way. And honestly, if you would just do it with fingers, it would be much easier. But I'm doing it for you because I love you. So let's find a good base. Let's make sure that we find a really nice base that we can use. And then, of course, we want to make sure that we have some loot. What do we think about this base? There's a decent amount of loot in here. We could probably pull it. Now, what are we doing? Well, of course, we're trying to make sure that we use... it's okay. It's not the best. I'm gonna pass on this one. Continue to the next one. See if we got something better. Ooh, it's a little better. A little better. We could probably use this. Single Infernos. He's trying to collect his dark elixir right in the middle. So, try to find a better base. So, what's cool about this attack? Like, what do you have to do? Well, there's 2 baby dragons, right? Those baby dragons are going to be used... Ooh, 6,000 dark elixir. The base kind of sucks, but 6,000 dark elixir is pretty good. So, it's really rushed. All right, I'm gonna move to the next one. What do you have to do? You have 2 baby dragons. These baby dragons are going to be used for funnels. You're going to create one on one side, one on the other to make sure that your P.E.K.K.A.s with the wizards behind walk in. Your P.E.K.K.A.s and your giants are going to go in with the heroes into the base as your main kill squad. Or you're going to use a jump and a rage on them. Your miners are going to come in from the side once you carve out a specific space, or they're going to be used to like do collectors and things like that. And then of course you're going to use 3 heals on the miners themselves. That's kind of how this attack works. It's really easy deployment. So you just basically use two baby dragons to start the funnel. You're gonna use 2 P.E.K.K.A.s and the giants in the front with all the wizards behind. Maybe keep 1. I usually save 1, so it's like 4 wizards behind, and then the heroes right behind that. You're gonna jump into the base because I don't use a wall wrecker. If you're gonna use a wall wrecker or any kind of siege barracks, you want to make sure that you use a jump. You place the jump later in the base, and then you rage that kill squad into the base itself. It's gonna tear apart a specific part of it. One of the best things to do, of course, is create a runway, because the little runway for the miners is a good thing to do. Or if there's like a lot of collectors on the outside that have a lot of loot, you might want to use the miners to collect that. What's good about this attack, it's very versatile. There's a lot of different ways that you can attack with it, and that's why one of the reasons why I like it. It really doesn't matter what kind of base it is. You can pull as much elixir, dark elixir, and regular gold as you want out of it if you just concentrate the troops. It's very versatile, right? You can even send the miners behind the main kill squad just straight into the base if you want to get the dark elixir or something like that. That'll work as well. There's a lot of different ways to use this attack, and I really like it. So there we go. 675 to it's a dead base. I'm not gonna pass 700,000. So we're gonna go in. There's a inferno right here on this side, right? So we're gonna create that runway that I was telling you about. So let's get into the base right from here. If we use a jump right into this section right over here, we'll be able to access a lot of the base and get to the dark elixir, so that's important. So let's start with that. I'm gonna use a baby dragon on this side, and I'm gonna use a baby dragon right on this side to start our funnel. Then afterwards, I'm going to use the P.E.K.K.A.s as they're going to start walking on the inside, and then I'm going to use a jump spell. So we're going to have 1 P.E.K.K.A. start right over here. I'm going to put a P.E.K.K.A. right over here. It's so hard to do this. Then I'm going to use a jump spell right over here. So I'm going to wait for my P.E.K.K.A. to go in. They're going to use 2 more wizards. Then we're going to use the 6 giants and the heroes into the base. Once we get in, we're going to rage. And wait and see what it's doing. You see what it's doing? It's cutting out a runway into the base. That's kind of what we want to do. Once we have the runway, we're going to start with the miners. I'm going to put a couple of miners on each side right over here. We don't really need to use the poisons, and then I'm just going to send all of the miners right into this part of the base that kind of needs it. We're going to pop the king, and then we're going to heal the miners as they're going into the base. See where they're going? They're going right into that inferno, although it did end up actually dying, right? The inferno ended up dying because it didn't really have as much resources. But I'm gonna use the miners right over here on one side as I'm using the heroes on the other to cut the base out, and I'm gonna pull as many resources as I can that way. The miners are gonna continue pushing through the base. We're gonna heal them right around the wizard towers. That's the most important thing to do. Heal them right around the wizard tower. So as the miners are going in, I'm gonna use them right on the last part right here with the wizard towers. I'm gonna collect as much loot as I can. I have 1 wizard left. That 1 wizard is gonna help. And then I'm gonna wait for the miners to jump onto the rest of the defenses, and then once they do that, I'm gonna heal them and just have them push directly into the base. So it's really kind of nice and easy, right? As you notice, that's what I'm doing here. I'm gonna heal the miners right here, right around the last wizard tower, and then we're gonna start with our wizards. We're gonna use them. Well, I have 1 wizard right here. I have a couple of poisons. I'm gonna drop 1 poison because I don't need it, just because. Gonna use a wizard right behind to clean up as much else as we can while the miners are doing work, and that's it. Sit back. So what did I do here? I used my 2 baby dragons to isolate and get my P.E.K.K.A.s, my giants, my heroes, and my wizards to go into the base. Use a jump spell and a rage inside of it, and then I cut out a little runway. As you notice, there's a little runway right over here. It's actually into the inferno. If the base wasn't dead and the inferno was alive, that would be a really good way to go in, right? Because the miners are gonna go in, take out that inferno, and continue straight into the base. And I'm able to place my heals because they're so tightly packed because of that runway. I'm able to place my heals right around there, and it's nice and easy to be able to take out the rest of the defenses. And that's kind of how you do it. Continue through the base. It doesn't really matter if you get a triple because this is a farming attack, but you can pull as many resources as you want. You can also, one of the really good things to do is a lot of people like to hide their dark elixir in the center of the base or somewhere deep in there. This is a good way to punch into the base and to get that dark elixir out. Awesome attack. I really love using it. It's very versatile. It works on a lot of different bases. Also doesn't really require any dark elixir whatsoever. It's just regular elixir. And now let's go to the second attack, my second favorite way to farm, with the miners at Town Hall 10. All right, so what's the second attack? What's the second attack that we're going to use? Well, it's a little bit of a different combination of the ones that we used before. What's good about this one? Well, no P.E.K.K.A.s. We still got the 2 baby dragons. Those are going to be used on both sides of the funnel, just like we did in the last attack. We have 12 giants this time versus 6, and we have 2 healers. We'll have 8 wizards and then 16 miners, a little bit less than we had before. We had 20. Right, so what do we got here? The baby dragons are going to be used to isolate. The wizards are going to be used behind the giants. The pack of giants is going to go into the base with the 2 healers behind. A jump and a rage with the heroes going into the base. What's good about this attack is the pack of giants provides a lot of damage right away, and then you got the 2 healers behind keeping them kind of alive with the heroes, and then the wizards really is a big punch into the base. If you put it into the right specific part of the base, it can actually keep going. That's what's really good about this. This is kind of like the HGH, well, without the hogs. This is more of like a healer giant wizard miner attack. I really like this. It's a very good combination. It works really well, and let me show you how it does. So let's start with our attack. See if we can find a good base, and then we're going to be able to hit it with lots of loot, hopefully something that's not too rushed, so I could show you this attack is actually very good and it works very well, and hopefully something that's not dead, right? We don't want a dead base. Although if it has 700k of each, I'm definitely gonna hit it. I used to not. I'm actually maxed on this account, so I really don't need the loot, right? As you can see up top, I don't need it. I have 14 or 15 different accounts. I think 15 different accounts now. I think about 12 or 13 of them are totally maxed. So this is one of them. I use this account for war, and I've maxed it a long time ago. This has been my life Town Hall 10 for a long time. I love it. I actually do have a Town Hall 10 that has low heroes. I'm keeping it that way because I'm going to be bringing you a whole bunch of attacks that require low heroes. So attacks with low heroes for Town Hall 10, they're coming. Same thing with the farming. I'm going to do some farming attacks with low heroes. Although this base, right, these 2 attacks that you've seen right here, they honestly do not require high heroes. You don't really, in fact, you don't even need heroes. It'd be great to use them. It'd be great to have heroes, but even if you don't, these attacks work, and they work pretty well. And of course, we're going to show you that in the other video that I'm going to come up with very soon. So currently, we're looking for a good base. A lot of you ask me why I don't use wall wreckers and CC troops. Honestly, because I like to save them for war. I mean, they cost a lot of money for my clan mates, and I try to save them the 100k or something like that. Oh, another dead base. But not a lot of dark elixir. We'll continue going with this. I try to save them, and honestly, I mean, you don't really need clan castle troops when you're doing farming. There's so much farming going on. I usually boost and continue to farm non-stop, so I'm not even gonna ask for troops from the CC. I just kind of hit bases with them. So it works well. You don't need them. If you want to use them, great, you can. Oh, look at this base. No infernos though, so I'm not gonna hit it. It'd be nice and easy, honestly, to get through this base. If you notice, what you could do here is you could come in from this side right over here from the north with your main kill squad, jump in there and get all of the stuff out and send miners in, like, into this little runway right here. But no inferno, so I'm not gonna show you how to run this, how to, you know, wreck this base. Let's try to find a good one. If we can't find it, of course, I'm going to pause the video and get back to it when we do find it, so I don't waste your time. But since we are, this is not bad. I suppose this is a decent farming base as well. If you notice, there are a lot of people try to use these types of bases because, well, as you can see, the dark elixir is right in the center. So a lot of people try to do this. So you know what? Let's attack this base. Let's see how we do this. So right over here, as you notice, there are two. I kind of would like to come in this way because it's easier, but there are 2 air defenses, right? So because of there are 2 air defenses, I'm going to use my pack of giants and my healers a little bit later. First, I'm going to use my heroes with a couple of wizards behind. I want to isolate. Make sure that I get the queen, and she's going to be able to get that. There we go. I want to get that that air defense down, and then I'm going to punch my king into the base. I want to make sure that I open this up. We're going to go in, and then I'm going to use my giants in the front, healers behind, a couple of extra wizards, and then we're going to rage. I'm going to use a jump to get into the multi-infernos. giants are really gonna overwhelm everything else. We're gonna go in, we're gonna take a multi-inferno out. I have a couple of baby dragons. I'm gonna start with them on the sides because we didn't use them for the center. And then I'm gonna send my miners directly all into the center of the base. They're gonna go through and take all that stuff out. Nice and easy. A couple of wizards behind. Use my heal spells. Get as much dark elixir as I can. I want to get all of that dark elixir if I can. So notice that's kind of what I did here, right? Instead of using it to take the rest of the base out, I'm going to use it to take the dark elixir out. I want to make sure that I get that out. And I'm going to continue healing my miners to get through the center while the rest of the base is kind of moving. There's really not that much left. The key was to get the dark elixir and to get the rest of the troops, and I did that, and I'm going to continue moving. Now, will I get to the rest of the resources? Maybe not, maybe yes, I don't know. It was a little bit of a... I didn't like having the air defenses right on the outside because they were going to kill my healers, and if you notice, my healers actually switched. Okay, so we're done here, right? I'm going to see if I can get some more by just throwing a couple of minions out here to see if I can get some more elixir stuff. So the healers, technically speaking, what's good about this attack, what needs to happen is the healers need to be on the giants. Because the giants weren't getting hit and the queen was, the healers switched and went to the queen, and kind of then afterwards got killed. You want the giants to be able to survive, and those 2 extra healers give them just enough health to kind of push through the base and punch in. In this case, they didn't survive the multi-infernos. There wasn't enough of them. There wasn't enough healers and all that stuff, but it really doesn't matter because I redirected my miners into the base, into the center of the base, and grabbed that dark elixir. That's what I wanted to do. Most of the time, that's the key here, is to grab as much dark elixir as you can, and then everything else that you can grab on you know, would be just extra icing on the cake. And that's kind of what happened here. I grabbed some of the resources with mostly the dark elixir. That's what I was looking for. It's in the center of the base, and what's good about this attack, just like the other one, it's very versatile. You can kind of jump on the spot. The problem with farming attacks is if you pick a specific farming army, it might not work for all of the bases. These 2 attacks that I showed you will work for most of the bases if you just redirect them a little bit. So if you're sitting there and punching through and you're like, oh, you find this base that has a whole bunch of elixir and a whole bunch of resources and you need to take it out, you're like, I can't pass on this base, but I don't have the right army cooked. This is what these 2 attacks are good for. They're really good because it's easy deployment, and you can they're very versatile. You can change them up a little bit and grab what you need out of the base and continue moving along, and that's what farming is all about. Really awesome attack. Even though I didn't get 100% or all of the resources, I got what I needed. And that's what's good about running these attacks. Ladies and gentlemen, I just showed you 2 different ways that you can run farming attacks with miners at Town Hall 10. And these are my favorite ways to farm at Town Hall 10 with miners. They work really well, as I just showed you. I hope they do well for you. I hope you learned something today. If you did, make sure to smash the like button. Make sure to subscribe to the channel because I got a lot of stuff coming up for you, including a lot more farming attacks. So you want to make sure that you stay tuned for that. Follow me on my Twitter, and of course, come on down to our Discord. A lot of exciting stuff going on there. And while you're here, check out this video. This is a really cool one, and I'll see you there.